My name is Joanna Conchas. This podcast is on pressure. Pressure is the application of force to a surface and the concentration of that force in a given area. For example, if a finger can press against a wall without making any lasting impact. But however, the same finger pushing a tag can easily the wall even though the force applied is the same, because the point concentrates that force into a smaller area. 1 atm is the same as 106 milliliters of mercury and 760 torr and 14.7 pressure per square unit and 101.3 kilopascals. For example 1 says, how many atm are there in 340 torr? Well, first you put the grid 40 torr times atm, which you want to convert it to, all over 760 torr. You cross out both torrs so that you could get atm. Then you multiply across and divide, which gets you 0.45 atm. Example 2. How many torr are there in 23 atm? Okay, so you put 23 atm times 760 torrs, which equals 1 atm. Then you put that over 1 atm. Then the 2 atm cross out, because crossing them out gives you torr. As you multiply across and then divide, it gives you a 17,480 torr. Example 3. How many kilopascals are there in 80 millimeters of mercury? Well, 880 millimeters of mercury times 101 kilopascals over 760 millimeter of mercury gives you 10.7 kilopascals. Example 4 tells you how many torr are there in 1,800 millimeters of mercury. Well, you put the 1,800 millimeters of mercury times 760 torr all over 760 millimeters of mercury. Then you cancel out the millimeters of mercury, and then you multiply across and divide, which gives you 1,084. Example 5. How many millimeters of mercury are there in 12 atm? Well, you 12 atm times 760 millimeters of mercury all over 1 atm, multiply across and then divide by 1 atm, which gives you 9,110 millimeters of mercury. Now press pause and try these 5 problems. Okay, number kilopascals, 10.5 psi. Well, they're 1.5 psi times 101.3 kilopascals all over 14.7 psi. You cancel out the psi on both and gives 10.334 kilopascals. On example 2, if there are 5,000 kilopascals, how many atm are there? Well, 5,000 kilopascals times 1 atm divided by 101.3 kilopascals. You cross out the kilopascals on both, then multiply across and divide, which gets you 49.39 atm. Number 3. How many kilopascals are there in 800 millimeters of mercury? Well, 800 millimeters of mercury times 101.3 kilopascals divided by 760 millimeters of mercury. But first you cross out the millimeters of mercury on both, then times them across and divide, which gets you 106.63 kilopascals. On example 4, if there are 14 torrs, how many kilopascals are there? Well, 14 torr times 101.3 kilopascals all over 760 torr. You cross both terms, then you multiply across and divide, which gets you 96.5 kilopascals. Finally, example 5. How many atm are there in 18 kilopascals? Well, 18 kilopascals times 1 atm all over, not all over, but over 101.3 kilopascals. Then you solve the kilopascals on both, multiply across and divide, which will get you 0.80 atm. Hope this podcast helped you learning a little bit more about pressure.